Yo, did you miss us? We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Turn Bark Time. I'm the Turn,
I'm the Bark.
and we have been here a long, long time. Barker, it is season 7, episode three, 4-3. Speaking of three, Barker, again, that picture of you know the student, you can give me the kid's name, but him just like up burying that three to beat River was awesome. Great post.
Jeff Rookledge, the Rook, the Rook. Checkmate,
Oh, that's
baby.
right. You were gonna, yes, yes, I remember
Boom.
this now.
Trademark it. Trademark it. I know the radio
Yes,
guys have been using it. Internet guys still coming around.
it's
Uh,
okay.
yeah, the Jacks are RPI #1 right now. They
That's so impressive.
just
So
beat
impressive.
RPI Woodland, who is ranked #2. The Beavers ranked #2, beat them by 25 tonight. And the Beavers had beat La Center. La Center had beat Quincy at the Sun Dome shootout, I think, over Christmas break.
Oh yeah,
They played Quincy played La Center and Fort Vancouver.
yeah. Okay.
Fort Vancouver. Those are both really good 1A programs. So nothing to be said about there.
No, tough battles.
So
Um, but speaking of Beavers, Parker, and this actually has nothing to do with the Woodland Beavers. I saw this video on Instagram, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So basically, we are going to talk about this is going to be a fun one. I'm hoping, like, I think this one could blow up a little bit because people are going to be just confused. But we are going to talk about uh Operation Beaver Drop, and it is exactly what it sounds like.
it's like the movie that Disney turned down, and then they made Operation Dumbo
Dumbo
Drop.
Drop. Was that Danny Glover in that one?
Yes, it was.
Yes. Oh, great film. Parachuting it
Oh
out.
yes. Yes. Great film. Yeah, so Operation Beaver Drop in post World War II Idaho. After World War II, the population of southwestern Idaho was growing, which meant that residential areas and farming activities were increasing, and our furry little brethrens of the Northwest, who were on the rebound since the Hudson Bay Company had stopped trying to murder them, were causing a ruckus because they were going in and like building dams and like irrigation channels and like just doing little
Doing
industrious
Beaver
things,
stuff.
doing beaver things. Um, and it was getting in the way of the human stuff.
Yep.
And so I actually went to the Wikipedia article and then followed the footnotes to the
Yep.
National Archive
Yep.
and
'Cause
looked at the official report from, I think it was 1950, from Elmo Header, who worked for the Idaho Department of Fish and Game.
God, I
So
love
hats
that.
off to you. He's probably no longer with us, but Mr. Header, thank you for your research.
Yeah.
So I thought at first that it was a reintroduction, like there was not
Yeah,
enough
me too.
beavers, and it was not. It was the fact that the beavers were a nuisance to humanity. And
Yeah.
this happens in Longview. We have Lake Sacagawea, which is
You're
part of our floodwater. It's a man-made lake, part of our floodwater system. And there
okay.
was a pair of beavers that somehow got into the lake, and there was gnawing on the trees and knocking the trees down. And so they had to be relocated where they were not knocking down our cool trees because we are like Tree City, USA.
Yeah, you
Can't,
don't
can't
want
be
worse.
having. We are a squirrel city, not a beaver city.
You are
Uh,
a squirrel city. But that's a
we are.
story for a different day.
So
Squirrel Bridge. That's all I'm
the
saying.
crazy thing about this is what they started to do to relocate the beavers. They were going to relocate them. They took them to McCall, Idaho, and then we're going to
Yep.
release them into the Chamberlain Basin. But what they found is that it was too stressful, and it was leading to the relocation of young beavers was leading to beaver mortality.
Yes.
They were dying. Apparently, it stresses beavers out if you take them. It was really interesting because as I read the primary source document. It said that
Yeah.
they were putting the beavers in a box,
Yep.
putting the box on a donkey, and
Yep.
then taking a donkey to a truck, taking the truck to McCall, taking the beaver out of the truck, putting him in the box on another donkey, and then taking it into the mountains to let him be free.
And that
It wasn't.
that sounds like a very stressful journey.
Yeah. Well, and apparently, according to Mr. Hetter's
I heard.
report,
Yep.
beavers do not withstand sunlight very well directly, and they would relocate them during the summer months. And as
Which
you
is
know, many people do not know, I guess, in the Pacific Northwest, when it is in the summertime and you are on the east side of the Cascade Mountains, it is rather warm.
hot. Very
Yes.
hot.
So the solution became, what if we parachuted the beavers into remote
Still can't
areas?
believe this is an idea. But Mr. Header, I hope you're still with us because this is genius. So the idea was that we just got done fighting a world war where we introduced airborne troops. So there's a bunch of leftover parachutes that we need to use. And we have a bunch of just boxes. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these boxes together with breathing holes, obviously. And if you, again, this is a very easy Wikipedia search. And you can see they like have a model. They drilled a bunch of holes into the side, but they basically put the two boxes together like a suitcase and they were hinged. So that way it would open up and the beaver could get out. What do you
Uh,
got? You confused.
yeah, it would like land and like split. Like I don't even
Yes.
know if it was necessarily even. Well,
They
it
say
wasn't.
hinged is what
It
they
was
have.
it was hinged because they took rubber bands and put rubber bands around one
Okay.
side.
Yeah.
But it
Okay. There
wasn't
we
like
go.
it wasn't like a metal hinge
No, no,
hinge.
no, 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 no. Because the box was meant to break open when it hit the ground.
Correct.
Yeah.
The
And
boxes
so
were roughly 30 inches by 16 inches and a foot deep.
I just, I'm just picturing like this guy, and he's like, you know what we should do? We have leftover fish. We should put beavers in boxes and just drop them in. So two beavers are put in each box. Um, and and they actually consulted the Idaho State Fur Supervisor to, how are these jobs? Like this is I want to be the Washington State Fur Supervisor. I want that job. And so they basically were looking for sites to deploy these beavers, right? Somewhere where, not near mankind. So they're not going to die from human interaction or anything like that, but they're still going to be, successful. Um, and so they decide that they found it best to relocate groups of four beavers at once to a site. And they would do one male and three females, right? Reproduction, that whole deal. Go ahead, Bark.
Well, sometimes it was 2 to 2, but the one
Oh,
to three
okay.
ratio was for. So they tested and found that the optimal height using practice weights was between 500 and 800 feet above ground. And their test beaver, for lack of a better term, was a male beaver named Geronimo.
What a
And
great name for the beaver jumping out of a plane.
after they ran the test, they said that they got him to the point in the report. It said that they would drop him and then they have to go like catch him so they could put him back in the box and drop him again. And they go, by the end of it, he becomes so used to the activity that he would essentially like run around. And as soon as he saw the people, he'd just like get back in the box because he knew like that this is what we do.
Yeah, we just jump
And
out.
when they actually dropped him into his new environment with his harem, which I believe
Yeah.
was the term,
Yep. Good
um,
name.
with his harem of beavers, female ladies, um, all of the females got out and started immediately like searching the new area. And like he was sitting in the box, like waiting for like the game people to show up. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
dude, I, I made
What
my
are we doing?
15 jump, like pin my, where are my wings?
Yeah.
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 Um, yeah. And it's kind of super wild. Like, cause the, it was cheaper,
Yeah.
right? So the cost breakdown that was in there, the box was $2.
Okay.
This is 1948 like dollars.
Right, right.
The most expensive piece of material for this
The parachute?
parachute. Parachute was $16. The flight time, $12.
Wow. So they did take it was a the what is it? I think it's the first drop. Is the first drop the one in August 14th of 48?
Think so, yes.
Yeah, so it's like a twin engine Beechcraft, and they have 8 crates of beavers, the pilot and a conservation officer. Um, and so they deploy these beavers all over the area. Um, and in total they deploy 76 beavers. 75 survived the drop. Unfortunately, the only casualty, there was a beaver that actually forced its way out of the box while parachuting down.
But he forces his way out of the box and sits on top of the box for
Yeah.
the majority of the descent. And at about 75 feet from above ground, that's when he jumped.
Oh,
And they're like, without, like, this was in the report. They're like, we don't know why. He was like just chilling for the first hundreds of feet. And then the last 75, he was like, YOLO.
yeah, you only
And
live
away he
once.
went. Um, yeah, it's just wild.
Yeah.
And just thinking that like this was what somebody and they would live trap them and then take them and then kick them out, like essentially drop them out of an airplane. It's just kind of a wild way when you think about like wildlife preserves and like how do we do
Oh
this.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It makes me think of the seals when we deal with the seals on the Columbia eating all the salmon.
Yeah.
People are like, well, we flew them to California and then they just swim back in a
Yeah.
week.
It's like we'll come back.
Well, we went and saw a comedian. He was like, well, drop them off in Ellensburg, see if they swim back from there.
They
So
would probably not.
Brad Upton, there's your shout out to Brad Upton.
There you go.
Um, but yeah, it's really interesting. And like there was there's a really short video that when the Idaho State Historical Department digitized, they actually found short like video color footage documentaries of them
Mhm.
like picking up these beavers and like putting them in the boxes and then like
Yeah.
parachuting the boxes down. Um, and it was just wild that it works that way. And like California apparently has been like people have been relocating like apparently beavers for a while, getting them away from humans and
Yeah.
back into the environment. They're good for the environment.
Right. They're really
Um,
important for the environment. Because what was the one? There's a story somewhere where it was like they were planning to build a dam on this stream to help like kind of control flooding and things like that. And they had this project and it was going to be like $500,000. And all of a sudden, literally 2 beavers show up and like build a dam. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we don't have to do that anymore. So,
I got curious. And so I looked at some other beaver related information.
okay.
And because in Longview, we have a semi aquatic rodent that we do not want called nutria, which is essentially like imagine a beaver, but with like a rat tail.
Is that what that is? I thought those were called muskrats.
Same.
Okay. Because
They're
there was
not
one of
native. They're not
there
native.
there was one of those that lived in it was either a muskrat or something like that nutria lived in the canal that flowed through Ellensburg, that flowed through Central.
It's very probable because what happened was is that people were obviously right. We've been harvesting furs from beavers because right the way that they treat their fur naturally made it really great for water repellent and working. So somebody
Mhm.
went down to South America and imported these nutria, thinking that it would be a replacement for the beavers when the beaver population sagged. And
Okay.
ironically, at about the same time that this happened, people took some beavers to Finland. American beavers went to Finland and went to Chile and Argentina, Tierra del Fuego.
So we're just trading
Um,
trading rodents.
yeah, well, there's apparently essentially the two big beaver populations that are left in the world is the European beaver and the American beaver, or
Okay.
the Northwest, right? They are American Canada mountain beaver, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Um, a population of 7 beavers was let loose in Finland, and it's estimated that was in 1937.
Okay.
There are now an estimated 12,000 beavers in Finland. In Chile and Argentina, when people down there, apparently we didn't want to buy nutria furs, they didn't want to buy beaver pelts. 50, it said 25 mating pairs. So I multiplied
50. Yeah,
25 by
50.
two.
Yeah, math.
In 50 years' time, 50 beavers has turned into 100,000 beavers. And at first in Chile and Argentina, they were going to get rid of them because they were afraid that it was going to they were going to create ponds that were going to lead to the proliferation of other invasive species like fish species.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
actually led to creating more environment for some native species. And it's actually led to like, so like it's not all completely bad to
Right.
have them there. Like invasive species is just such an interesting like topic in my mind,
Oh
but it's
yeah.
just wild. And they're like, well, if the beavers get into Russia, it could be a problem. But they haven't shown a tendency to push that far east,
Yeah.
but seven, it's just like this idea. Cause I mean, like nobody wants to just like murder a dozen animals, but it's like
You've been to Cabela's.
a half dozen animals is now 12,000 animals.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
so speaking of the invasive species and a little off topic, but that was the crazy part about New Zealand was like New Zealand should only have reptiles and birds. Those are the only two types of animals that should be in New Zealand. And they're not. If you walk around New Zealand and there's a mammal, you run into a mammal, that is an invasive species. And you are allowed to take them, like kill them. Like people, the government will pay you to kill things like weasels and God, I'm not gonna remember all the names. There's two other types of like, I guess is a weasel considered a rodent?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a different.
Not necessary, but the point being is that like so the whole reason that like weasels and things like that, and they have other names for it, there are other types that were there as well. But the reason they're in New Zealand is because the English brought over rabbits because they thought it'd be a great time to hunt rabbits. But the problem with bringing rabbits over is that rabbits populate like rabbits. And so they were like, "Oh, we're gonna bring these like the weasel and like the predator of rabbits from England. We're gonna bring them." Well, but you brought them to New Zealand. Well, why would a weasel hunt a rabbit when it can go hunt a bird or the eggs of a bird that doesn't know that it's its enemy? And so that was like it was just but there's tons of stories. Like we Teddy Roosevelt gave New Zealand 8 Roosevelt elk, and I'm pretty sure that at this point there are over 800 Roosevelt elk in New Zealand.
It's just kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, there's a lot of animals that shouldn't be places where they should be. And yeah, I had my kids. I didn't use it this year, but I've one of my first articles when we do marking the text and years past has been Australia trying to find ways to eliminate their invasive rabbit species. And that's why there's wild. We did the Canadian pigs episode a couple of
Yeah.
seasons ago. That's why there's wild hogs and like razorbacks in like the south or the southeast of the United States
Yep.
is because they were brought over by the British and just kind of like let loose to go so they can hunt them later.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, they're out there just chowing down on everything that has no idea that it's an omnivore.
Yeah.
And like before you realize what's going on,
Yeah.
everything's
Tons of
going like Addie and I sat and watched a video about somebody, spearfishing lionfish.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
Dad, why are they killing all those fish? And I'm like, well, those fish are actually eating all the other fish. So to save those
yeah.
other fish, we've got to kill that fish.
Yep.
So yeah,
But
just wild.
it's just wild. Like this guy, and again, like Barker cited it, right? Like his name, his name is one more time for the beaver.
Elmo Header
Yep,
is the
Elmo
guy who
Hatter.
wrote he wrote the report.
No, but he's the one. He came up with the idea. Like he's the one who was like, we should just do Operation Beaver Drop. It's a go.
And there's some
Um,
places, so like it's kind of north of like Treasure Valley and like Boise a ways, but
mhm.
there is a shout out, unpaid solicitation here. New Glory Beer Company out of Boise.
Okay,
Their logo is actually a beaver being parachuted down.
that's awesome.
And the Pioneer League, it's independent
Yep.
baseball league. The Boise Pioneers
Pioneers.
rebranded for a single night as the Battle Beavers,
Yep. And
despite the fact that
that's
Geronimo and the Battle Beavers never fought in any wars.
and see, Barker, I think that might be an idea for an episode down the line is just great. Like when teams, like minor league teams that change their names. Like there's that team, the San Antonio Missions changed their names to the Flying Chanclas. right? Like just that might be a fun one to talk about. So,
Exploding whales.
yep. Yes, yes. So, but anyway, this was a quick episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We've been laughing like this entire time talking about this. So we're hoping we're
It's
bringing,
really the equivalent of putting two rodents in like two shoe boxes next to
yeah,
each other with a rubber band.
and then a parachute.
Like it's something that should be. It's like the egg drop experiment in science.
Could you imagine though? Could you imagine being the guy that tossed live animals out of a plane? Like what? So this was 1948. So Harrison, it's definitely not Harrison Ford. But could you imagine, like today, you'd have the guy being like, "Get off my plane! Get off my plane!" Because how could you not?
Uh,
Oh man. Okay. Well, Bark, anything else?
uh, yeah, and there are two states that their official state mammal is the beaver.
Ooh, Oregon.
It's one.
State mammal is the beaver. Maine?
Close.
So it's got to be Vermont or New Hampshire.
Well, okay, a little bit
Oh,
further.
a bit further from that.
Yeah.
The New York?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
Crazy, right?
man, I would not have. Nope, that wouldn't have been. I would have guessed another. Like I would have guessed like Colorado. Like I thought Maine just because of the up north part of it. And I remember reading a book, and I'm not going to remember the name of the book now. It's the one where the kid goes and lives with his dad. They move to the new world, or they move from their town out into the middle of nowhere. It's called Sign of the Beaver. That's why it's called that. The book's called Sign of the Beaver. And he learned he is left there. So his dad and him like go out into the woods, build a cabin, like they settle everything like that, and then he just leaves him there to go back and get his mom and his sister. And so he's just living on his own and he gets like really sick and the native population shows up and takes care of him and then like the chief of the tribe him and his son are the same age and so they end up working together and trying to learn the ways and being respectful and everything like that. Really good book. But that was why my main guess was that because I think he was in Massachusetts and they go up to Maine to set up the cabin. So
Which was Massachusetts at the time.
correct. Actually, no, it might have been
Well, during
post-revolution.
the colonial period,
Yes, correct.
before Maine was Maine.
Oh, yes, because I guess Maine's in Maine in 1820. So yeah, it would have been so when Maine was part of Massachusetts. So
Um, yeah, the other nugget I was gonna say is what two high schools are the Beavers in Washington State? We already know one because I already we named off that.
Woodland, yep, Woodland.
Woodland.
Who else would be the Beavers? West Side team, yeah. West
Yeah,
Side School.
yeah.
Okay.
Bigger school, 3A, 4A. I'm not sure which one.
3A, 4A. It's the Beavers.
Mm.
Can I get a league?
Ugh.
By the way, fun fact, guys, Barker knows every high school's mascot and colors in the state of Washington.
Not all. 3A, 4A gets a little sketchy.
Okay, he knows a lot.
I do know a lot. And if you would like to play NCAA college football, I'm going to say they play in the King Co.
Okay, so it's in that region. Okay.
If you want to
Um,
play NCAA 26 and you're a 2A high school athlete, your high school football uniforms are in the game and should be season accurate to this season.
that's awesome.
You're welcome.
Barker does not have enough time on his hands.
That's on my personal Instagram. So you have
Yeah,
to go find the Coach Barker out there.
track him
Uh,
down.
yeah,
Um,
62,
I
63
got
schools.
I got nothing. What do you got?
Ballard High School.
Ballard's the Beavers. I guess
Ballard Beavers.
the alliteration works, but I would have never gotten that one.
Yeah, because you don't think Beavers when you think about
No,
Seattle.
not Seattle area. No, no. So, what a great show. So much
Yeah. I mean, it's like the fact that I know that in Oregon, I think in Oregon State, there's two different teams that are the honkers. They're geese.
fun.
And there are no honkers in Washington. So
I love it.
Random stuff you need to know, guys.
Yep. Yep. Preach, preach, brother. Oh man, that what a good note to end on. So we hope you're enjoying yourself. Stay safe. Happy New Year to everybody. Uh,
Happy New Year.
yeah, we hope you're enjoying your life and just having a good time. Um, well, until next time, I'm the Turn,
I'm the Bark.
and we are gonna be here a long time. Have a good night, everybody.
Be safe.
And please, please, please be well.